being part of the squad, and I think instantly people would react and say, well, he's so young and kind of the pressures of that and being around the squad. But you look at football now and you see the likes of Ethan and Miles breaking through, and you see Lamine Yamal kind of breaking records. And is it just football's changed now? Young players can come in and they're so well developed that they can come in and make a difference, even if they are back young.
I think to give a generic answer is very difficult. I think there are cases, there are not that many. You mentioned 3 in Europe, we have 2. So it's very, very rare. But when I'm talking about Max as well, is now he's involved in the squad. He trains with us a lot. That doesn't mean that he's going to play in the Premier League many games. I don't know, depending how good he is, how impressive he is, how much he offers the team, like Ethan, like Miles, like any other player in the squad.
Do you think he could be that special case, like Ethan and Miles, or even he?
I think he's in the right pathway, and I think everybody at the academy is on an incredible job to constantly, protect him, inspire him, challenge him, keep him always up and at the levels that he could produce, and he's doing really well. I think he's doing the right steps, and take it slowly. I think he will dictate how fast we go.
And how much do you speak to him, and when you speak to him, do you still feel like you're speaking to a very young person, or do you see that he's mature not just on the football pitch but as a person as well?
Well, you need to understand his age and the way you talk and communicate with him, but if you're looking from far and you don't know that he's 15 and you see certain things that he does, just you have to judge him on that. You wouldn't treat him any different to any other player.
Yeah. I was just going to ask you one about Thomas Partey. Obviously, you missed him the other night. Do you think it showed how important he is to your team the other night in not being there?
Yeah, it is very important. Obviously, he's a starter for us and is the player that's played most minutes in the position. And obviously, for the biggest game of the season, we didn't have him. But I think Declan did a great job playing in there, and we had other qualities in midfield, and now we have him back, so more options.
And are you thinking of rotating quite a bit, or do you think it's going to be more important for players to have that consistency of playing games to build up?
Let's see how everybody's tomorrow, because today as well we still had some niggles and issues with a few players, so assess the squad well and we'll decide tomorrow.
Isan?
I'm Mikel. With Max there, you obviously spoke about his potential. You said it a few times this season. Could he be in contention to make the pre-season squad at all?
Who's that, Max? Yeah, we'll discuss at the end of the season and talk to Per, the academy coaches as well, and him and his environment about how we're going to now create a development plan from next season, like we do with any other player at the club, and take the right steps, hopefully.
In the Champions League, you've been very much big on the atmosphere and pumping up, especially at the Emirates at home, to get the fans behind your players. Obviously, after the PSG game, a few rival fans were making a bit of mockery about tifos ahead of the game. What did you make of all that? Did you have any influence on the designs of tifos used?
No, I just tried to focus on and do everything that I can from my side, whether it is with the club or myself, to try to promote the best possible behaviors, atmosphere, energy, to give the best support to the players, because that would mean the best chance to win the game and perform. Apart from that, there's nothing to do with me.
What did you make of the atmosphere for the last game against PSG? What your expectations?
It was, you can never try to replicate how it was against Madrid, because it was like this, especially because the scoreline, the context, and the manner that it happened. It was different. After 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes, you concede a goal, and it is different. But I think it's an own analysis. I prefer to leave it at that.
Okay, last couple in. Gareth?
Actually, Mikel, you said it a couple of times this season about with Miles and Ethan coming through, it sort of maybe shaped what you do in the transfer window, you're thinking generally, and now you've got Max coming into that equation. What's the balance of that between bringing them through and then winning trophies? Because you obviously here at a time when Arsenal bring kids through, and the criticism was the kids couldn't deliver the trophies, but experienced players were. So what's your balance in that as a manager to kind of get that?
That you're never going to get it right unless you bring academy players and win trophies. If you don't do those two things at the same time, you're never going to win. If you win something, yeah, but you don't have academy players, you spend a lot of money. If you are academy players and you don't win, you have to spend the money because academy players are not good enough. So both things together, we are in business.
Easy.
Which is what do you feel a bit more? What do you feel more responsible for you personally? Do you think you need those trophies, or do you ever ask and have that view of that wanting?
I love the trophies, and I love working with young players, especially the ones that have been through our academy, our system, and see them play, because I think that's a dream for any football club. So the first thing that we do is, what do we have in the academy? Can we look at them? Can we promote them? Can we make them the lead players that we're going to need to win trophies? Do they have this mentality? And then go, because that's always a challenge. An academy player sometimes has a different mindset, different perspective of what he needs to do when he arrives to the first team. Because when you come from the academy to the first level, what do you want? Oh, now I want to get set in the first team, go into that dressing room. Once you're in the dressing room, can I play a little bit? Once you play a little bit, can I be a starter now? When you do a starter, can I have a new contract and earn more money? Once you have that, can I now be more consistent and be a through the starter? And throughout that period, is 3, 4, 5 years, are you thinking about winning football matches and actually winning trophies, or are you thinking about your own steps? That's the very important mindset to go with the question that you mentioned before. Academy players that want to win, not to raise themselves or develop themselves, to win for the club. That's
what you're saying on that is because when you see some of these young players come through, they go like that, and then suddenly there's a bit of a plateau, or they go down because they don't get that consistency. But it's hard for them in the second season syndrome. So something like Miles or Ethan, what's the process for you to kind of help them? Because their challenge is going to come next year, not this year.
Yeah. Well, this year as well, there are, but I mean, and the career of any football player normally is not linear up, Even if we get buy the best talent in Portugal for 50, 60 million, he comes here, maybe has 3 wonderful months, and then he has a drop for 2 or 3 months, and then and that's part of the game. Yeah.
And finally, John.
You mentioned earlier on that the most important thing, the number one thing, was not getting players sent off, having 11 players, as opposed to the injuries. Why did you put that as number one?
Sorry, then I didn't explain myself well. I said 2 things, 2 ingredients. Play with 11 players and have high availability of the squad, and especially the top players that win you matches, both together. Yeah.
Has number one, with the first one, the red cards, has that been sorted out? It seems to be.
I hope that, it's been because the rules at the beginning of the season, when we were punished, and after 15 games were very different. So they resolved them. So hopefully next season we'll have some new rules for some games and then change them again. That would be great, if possible. Especially for all the teams, the same rules, at least.
With VAR, anything could happen?
No, hopefully not.
Okay.
Yeah?
Good luck tomorrow and Tuesday.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Wednesday, yeah.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah, guys. See you guys.
All good. All good.